Peppa's house stands silent in the dead of night. Something ancient stirs in the darkness beyond the windows. The grandfather clock strikes 13 times instead of 12. Each chime echoes with supernatural dread through empty hallways. Peppa wakes to find her room freezing cold. Frost covers the windows despite the warm summer night outside. A skeletal figure materializes at her bedroom window. Death's hollow eyes burn with otherworldly fire, piercing through glass. Peppa opens her mouth to scream, but silence. Death's presence has stolen all sound from the world. The figure phases through the wall like smoke. Death glides across the floor, leaving trails of withering darkness. George's toys begin crumbling to ancient dust. Everything Death touches ages centuries in mere seconds. Mummy Pig finds all plants in the house dead. Black, twisted stems replace once beautiful flowers throughout every room. Daddy Pig's reflection shows a skeleton in mirrors. Death's influence reveals the truth beneath all living flesh. Death appears in the living room, pointing directly. The family feels their life force slowly draining away. Susie Sheep arrives, but immediately collapses weakened. Death's aura spreads beyond the house to all visitors. Family photographs turn completely black one by one. Death erases all evidence of their happy memories. Pedro Pony runs away, screaming in terror. Death's presence drives away anyone who might help them. Grandpa Pig recognizes Death from ancient nightmares. He knows there is no escape from this visitor. Death reveals a black hourglass with glowing sand. The family watches their remaining time trickling away rapidly. The house begins transforming into a tomb. Walls turn gray and cold, windows become dark voids. Death extends a bony hand toward each member. The family feels themselves being pulled toward eternal darkness. Peppa realizes they are already trapped forever. Death has claimed their souls without them even knowing. The family tries to leave, but doors won't open. Death has sealed them inside their own home permanently. Death's laughter echoes through the house endlessly. The sound will continue forever, driving them slowly insane. The house fades from the neighborhood completely. Death has taken them to a realm between life. Everything appears normal to passing neighbors outside, but inside, the family screams silently for eternity. Peppa Pig's house always seemed like a safe place, but today, something changed forever. Strange sounds came from the basement below. Quiet hissing crept through the walls. Around them, Peppa and George were playing in the living room. A green shadow flickered outside the window. The creeper watched the children from the garden. Its empty eyes glowed in the darkness. George noticed the green creature first of all. He pointed at the window with trembling hand. The creeper slowly approached the house steadily, each step accompanied by ominous, hissing sounds. Peppa tried to call her parents upstairs, but nobody answered her desperate, frightened cries. The house plunged into strange, eerie silence. Only hissing became louder and more threatening. The creeper appeared in the doorway menacingly. Its green skin flickered with threatening light. Children tried to escape through the door, but other creepers blocked their escape route. Creatures surrounded the house from all sides. Their hissing merged into a terrifying symphony. The creeper began to swell and flash. Peppa understood something terrible would happen soon. Suddenly, all creepers froze completely motionless. They were waiting for some special signal. The main creeper made a special sound. Other creatures began to flash in perfect synchronization. Peppa and George pressed against each other. The room filled with bright green light. The creepers disappeared just as suddenly. The house became quiet and empty again, but strange tracks remained on the floor. Green footprints led down to the basement. Children went down the stairs carefully. The basement glowed with green, mysterious light. Cubic blocks stood in the corner. Creeper faces were engraved on their surfaces. Peppa understood the terrible, frightening truth. The house became their territory forever. Parents' voices were heard from upstairs, but their eyes glowed with green light. The family gathered for dinner as usual, but everyone was silent and hissed strangely. The old farmhouse on the hill always looked abandoned, but strange sounds echo from within its rotting walls. Peppa and her family drive past the creepy building. Something moves behind the broken windows, watching them. A figure in a leather mask emerges slowly. His face is made from stitched animal skins. The leather-faced giant carries mysterious tools and bags. He collects things that others have lost forever. George drops his favorite dinosaur toy accidentally outside. The masked figure picks it up immediately. Daddy Pig stops the car to retrieve George's toy. The farmhouse door creaks open by itself. Leatherface appears, holding the green dinosaur toy tightly. His leather mask hides his true identity. He gestures for the family to come closer. His movements are jerky and unnatural somehow. Susie Sheep arrives looking for her lost teddy bear. Leatherface points toward the dark farmhouse interior. The masked figure leads them into his collection room. Hundreds of lost toys cover every surface. Pedro Pony's ball sits on a dusty shelf. Rebecca Rabbit's jump rope hangs from hooks. Leatherface shows them his special leather-making workshop downstairs. Strange tools line the grimy walls. He explains he makes masks from everything. Even the softest materials become his creations. The family realizes all their missing items disappeared. Leatherface has been watching them for months. Mummy Pig tries to leave, but doors slam. The masked figure blocks every possible exit. Leatherface reveals his true plan for visitors. He wants to add them permanently. The workshop contains more than just toys, personal belongings from many missing families. George starts crying as Leatherface approaches with tools. The leather mask grins with stitched mouth. The family huddles together as darkness falls completely. Leatherface begins his terrible work process. Morning comes, but the car remains empty. Only Leatherface knows what happened that night. The farmhouse looks peaceful from the road again, but new leather masks hang drying. The playground was always a place of joy and laughter. But today the ground beneath the swings begins to crack. Peppa swings with her friends on their favorite swings. The earth suddenly collapses beneath them all. Susie Sheep screams in terror as she falls into the dark hole. The depth seems endless and terrifying. Rebecca Rabbit grabs at the edges of the pit desperately. Her fingers slip on the wet, muddy earth. Pedro Pony tries to help his friends climb out, but the hole keeps getting wider and deeper. From the depths rises a dark figure in a black cloak. This is Hades, Lord of the Dead Souls. Hades looks at the children with cold, empty eyes. His presence drains all warmth from the air. Peppa feels her body becoming ice-cold gradually. Her breath turns into white, misty clouds. Hades speaks with a deep, echoing voice about loneliness. He needs companions in his underground kingdom. Susie Sheep tries to run away, but her legs stick. The ground turns into sticky black mud. Rebecca Rabbit calls for her parents to help her, but her voice becomes quieter and weaker. Hades shows the children gates to the underworld. Black stones are covered with ancient, mysterious symbols. Pedro Pony sees shadows of other children behind gates. They wave their hands but cannot speak. Hades begins the ritual of summoning souls to kingdom. Air fills with dark, magical energy. Peppa feels her soul separating from her body. She becomes transparent like a ghost. Friends transform into shadows one by one. Their bodies disappear, only silhouettes remain. Hades leads new subjects through the black gates. The underworld gains 4 new residents. The playground looks completely normal again. The pit and ground disappeared without trace. Parents come searching for children at playground. They find only empty swings swaying in wind. Hades sits on his throne in underworld. Beside him 4 new children's shadows. Every day, new children come to play. Hades patiently waits for next companions. The grand, muddy Puddle Hotel looked perfect for vacation, but something felt wrong from the very first moment. The concierge's smile never changed, even when nobody was looking. His eyes followed every movement with unnatural intensity. Peppa noticed the other guests moved strangely together. They all walked in perfect synchronization like robots. The bellhop carried their luggage to rooms that seemed to shift. Hallways stretched longer than they should. George's toy dinosaur disappeared from their room overnight. It reappeared in the lobby, sitting perfectly still. The elevator buttons pressed themselves, taking families to floors that didn't exist on the directory. Susie Sheep tried to call her parents outside, but every phone connected to hotel reception instead. The dining room served the same meal repeatedly. Yesterday's breakfast appeared again on every plate. Rebecca Rabbit noticed the hotel clocks all showed different times. Some moved backwards, others stood still. The swimming pool reflected faces that weren't really there. Ghostly figures waved from beneath the surface. Pedro Pony found old guest books dating back centuries. The same names appeared over and over. The hotel staff whispered in languages nobody understood. Their voices echoed through empty corridors. Daddy Pig tried to check out multiple times, but the desk always found new reasons to extend stays. The hotel's entertainment program never ended each day. Activities continued endlessly without scheduled breaks. Other families began forgetting their real names slowly. They started calling each other by room numbers. The hotel gift shop sold only items from decades past. Everything looked old and covered in dust. Windows showed views of places that couldn't exist. Gardens bloomed with flowers from different seasons. The concierge finally revealed the truth with satisfaction. No guest had ever successfully left this hotel. All the families realized they were trapped forever. The hotel had collected them like precious souvenirs. The building itself seemed to breathe and pulse. Walls moved closer together, making rooms smaller. Years passed, but nobody aged inside the hotel. Time had stopped working normally within these walls. New guests arrived regularly, unaware of the trap. The cycle continued endlessly, generation after generation. The playground was always a place of joy and laughter. Today, an ominous silence reigned. Here, instead, Peppa and Susie were playing their favorite game of hide-and-seek. A strange masked figure was watching them from the shadows. Black mask with geometric patterns, empty hollow eyes staring. The front man stood, motionless like a dark statue. The girls tried to run away, but all exits were blocked. Tall walls appeared from nowhere, trapping them inside. Symbols appeared on walls: triangle, square, circle in bright colors. The front man pointed at the signs with his gloved hand. A voice sounded coldly through the mask's speaker. He announced the rules of a terrifying new game for children. The game, called Red Light, Green Light, began immediately, but the rules became frightening and dangerous for everyone. Peppa froze in absolute terror, understanding the consequences. The front man controlled their every single step and movement. Susie broke the rules and disappeared into thin air. She found herself trapped in a completely white room. The front man appeared before her, his mask glowing eerily. He explained the terrible price of disobedience to frightened children. Other children disappeared one by one from the playground. All rule breakers simply dissolved into the air like ghosts. Peppa remained completely alone with the mysterious front man. Toys and games lay, scattered and forgotten everywhere. The front man offered her the final game: choice of doors. One promised freedom, other eternal captivity and servitude. Peppa chose a door carefully, but both led there. The front man laughed quietly and menacingly under his mask. Room filled with masks and colorful costumes everywhere. The front man showed her a special mask made just for her. Peppa understood the horrible truth at last. Children become guardians. Nobody ever leaves this cursed place alive. The front man removed his mask slowly, showing emptiness inside. He was just a hollow shell created by the game itself. Peppa put on the mask reluctantly. Her personality dissolved completely. She became a new guardian of the children's playground. The next day, new innocent children appeared happily. They didn't know about the terrible danger that awaited them here. Two masked figures watched silently from dark shadows. The game continued endlessly. Rules remained unchanged and eternal. The playground filled with joyful laughter and cheerful voices, but empty eyes followed. Peppa's school always seemed like a safe place, bright and joyful. But no one suspected what dark secrets hide behind its friendly walls and children's voices. Mummy Pig received a call from Miss Gazelle. George is doing poorly and behaving strangely. Mummy Pig goes to school with anxiety. Something is wrong with her little one. The school corridor is unusually quiet. Even the air feels heavy and ominous. Miss Gazelle greets Mummy Pig with a strange smile. Her eyes look empty and cold. The teacher leads Mummy Pig to the classroom. George sits alone, not lifting his head. Mummy Pig tries to hug her son. George pulls away and remains silent as if he doesn't recognize her. Miss Gazelle explains that George has changed. He no longer plays with his dinosaur. Instead of toys, George draws strange dark figures. The drawings frighten even adults. Mummy Pig notices the classroom is too dark. Windows are covered with black curtains. A tall figure in black emerges from the shadows. Darth Vader slowly approaches them. The Dark Lord speaks in a mechanical voice about power. George must join the dark side. Mummy Pig realizes the horrible truth. The school is captured by evil force controlling children. Darth Vader explains his plan. Children will become his students of the dark side. Mummy Pig grabs George's hand. They must immediately leave this cursed place. Darth Vader blocks their path with a lightsaber. Red light illuminates frightened faces. Mummy Pig screams that love is stronger than evil. George begins to remember his family. Mother's love breaks the spell. George recognizes his mum again and cries. They escape from school while Darth Vader remains. His evil laughter echoes through corridors. At home, the family learns an important lesson. Evil can hide in most unexpected places. The dark force still waits in school. Darth Vader prepares new plans to capture children's. The forest always seemed like a perfect place for berry picking to the pig family, but ancient trees hold secrets that are better left undisturbed. The family went to the forest to collect sweet berries. Everyone was in great spirits, anticipating delicious jam making. Suddenly, Daddy Pig noticed strange black tracks. They led deep into the thicket and looked very unusual. Daddy decided the family should stay in the forest overnight. He said it was too late to return home safely. The family set up camp near a large tree. But as darkness fell, the atmosphere became ominous. Strange sounds and rustling came from the darkness. Something big and black was moving between the trees. Venom emerged from the shadows, his white eyes glowing. He looked like black liquid with teeth and tentacles. Venom surrounded the family with his dark matter tentacles. He spoke about the forest belonging to him alone. The family realized they were trapped by Venom. He fed on fear and negative emotions of people. Venom showed the family visions of their worst nightmares. Each saw what they feared most in life. Peppa saw herself losing all her friends forever. George saw his beloved dinosaur disappearing into nothingness. Mummy and Daddy Pig saw their children suffering. This was the most terrifying vision for parents. But the family realized their love was stronger than fear. They hugged and supported each other tightly. Venom weakened when the family united against fear. Love and unity proved to be his weakness. The family understood the importance of mutual support in difficult moments. Venom retreated but didn't disappear completely. In the morning, the family left the forest forever changed. They became more attentive to each other. Venom remained in the forest, waiting for new victims. He knew fear would always find its way to people. Sometimes white eyes can be seen in the dark forest. Venom continues hunting lonely travelers. In the final scene, a new family enters the forest. They don't know about the danger awaiting them. Venom watches from the shadows, preparing for a new hunt. The cycle of fear is ready